we're going to bring up your next speaker. That's going to be the wonderful, magnificent Chris James.
If you talk about how much you hate your fat, your body has been working all this time to keep you alive.
I don't think anybody in my circle understands him.
Veronica, why is the first thing you saying you can't sleep? What time is it where you at? And let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if y'all can hear me and see me. Y'all are up to it already. I pray Chris is wearing the cowboy hat. Oh my goodness. Y'all can hear me? Want to join the fast. All right, cool. Oh man. Y'all are interesting people, man. Interesting people. I do not have the cowboy hat on tonight. It's right here though. If y'all get me started, I might throw that thing on. Veronica, is your insomnia from fasting, or you just have insomnia? Everybody, let me know where you're tuning in from. Congratulations for everybody who caught me live tonight. This was impromptu. Pam, I'm not, I don't think I'm gonna be sleepy loopy tonight. I don't think so. I took a nap earlier, so I think I'm okay. We'll see. I don't know. We're not gonna be on here too long anyway. I just wanted to, there was some information I needed to share with y'all. Some information that I thought was vital for you to just be aware of. It's in alignment with what we teach with AHA, and I've been trying to warn y'all about certain things, just so you could be aware of it, right? Like, my goal is never to create fear mongering or anything of that nature. I think that we should be aware so that we understand the decisions we're making. And I think most of us don't know what's going on, so we can't make sound decisions because we simply don't know what's going on. So I wanted to bring something to y'all's awareness. For some reason, my video's lagging. I don't like that. But we here now, so whatever. Okay. So I know a couple people talking about the fast. Real quick, I'm gonna let y'all know the R72 challenge is officially underway. Okay, we started Friday. We started Friday, so if you guys want to join, you still have time to join. Now would be optimal. Tomorrow we're going to be going live. We already did one live. We're going to be going live again tomorrow to help everybody who's new get caught up over the weekend. And we already have people from the original challenge reporting their numbers, how much weight they lost, what they experienced. We're seeing an average of, I would say the average is probably close to 20 pounds, 25 pounds. I've seen 30, 32. You know, people are losing between 25 and 30 pounds, I would say. So if you're interested in joining the R72 challenge, I did put the link in the chat. Okay. And now will be the optimal time. If you're gonna join at the last minute, now's the optimal time. Also, if you guys don't know, we have a free membership site available. Okay. It's kind of like Facebook, but it's not Facebook. It's better than Facebook. So you don't have to deal with all the nonsense on Facebook. It's where we host our R72 challenge. It's called AHA Communities. I put that in the description as well. And I'm gonna throw these links in the chat for y'all. You can go sign up while we're doing the live. We've got nearly 4,000 of our members in there. And I would love to see that, you know, grow to 10,000 pretty quickly here. So We have a couple of things to unpack today, and where this all stemmed from was there's this restaurant, I guess you could call it. It's like a cafe. There's this cafe I like going to. Um, what's it called? Simply Organic, or it used to be called Dessert RX, but they changed the name, which I think was a good move. I don't think Dessert RX really made sense for them. It just sounds cold. So now it's like Simply Organic Cafe or something like that. But the lady that owns the cafe, she's very much so into like organic, non-GMO, healthy. She has a dessert there that I absolutely love. Okay. I don't know how she makes it. It's a raw dessert. It's made out of like, I don't know, coconut cream and I don't know, man, some herbs and stuff, some plants. And it kind of reminds you of like pudding or something, like a whipped cream or pudding or something. It's a little denser than whipped cream, but it's absolutely delicious. It's raw. It's a truly guilt-free dessert. So I'm just setting the stage. This is the type of woman. And what happened was her daughter was really, really sick. Her daughter was, dealing with a massive amount of inflammation. I think they believed that she had an autoimmune disorder. I don't remember all the details because I learned about their family, years ago at this point. But she basically went organic, non-GMO, right? Really, really like very close to plant-based, if not plant-based. I don't think they're 100% plant-based, but and it saved her daughter's. I don't think that her daughter was dying. I can't remember. It either saved her daughter's life or it reversed her ailment and greatly improved her quality of living. Okay, so once she did that, she was sold. She was sold on the process of, eating organic and kind of living a more healthy, health conscious lifestyle. Now, funny enough, her husband is a fisherman, so we're going to talk a little bit about fish here in a second, which is the funny part. But I go every once in a while, I get these desserts. And the last time I was there, she was upset. She was very much so upset. And the reason why is because she had learned that I guess they had passed a law, Congress or somebody passed a law that made it legal for companies to change the designation of genetically modified foods. Okay. So as you all know, over the past, I would say over the past 10 years, genetically GMOs, this has become very common. People know what this is now. People know that they can go in and they can look at certain fruits and they can look at the sticker, and based on the numbers on the sticker, they know if it's a conventional or if it's GMO, right? So there's an awareness around it. And in true, you know, propaganda fashion, traditional government propaganda fashion, they are now redesignating genetically modified organisms, and the new classification or the new terminology is let me get this right, bioengineered food. Okay, so on your labels and stuff like that, you might see BE, bioengineered, BE, as B as in beta, E as in eat. That's probably not the right word. Elephant, B as in beta, elephant, E as in elephant. All right. So they do this all the time. They did it with MSG. When people started becoming aware of MSG and there was a lot of information being put out there about MSG, they changed it from MSG, and I think they just expounded it to its full name, which is monosodium glutamate or whatever. And there might be other words for it, but they do this. This is what they do. They actually just changed the definition of the word vaccines right around the pandemic time. So they do this. This is a normal thing. They do this. They redesignate things. They change definitions of things. It's all designed to create confusion. So she's extremely upset. Now, why is she so upset? Well, it's simple. From her point of view, you got to think her daughter, once again, I can't remember the story if she was dying or if she just had a really low quality of life, but her daughter was in a very bad way due to the genetically modified food she was eating. Now, everyone isn't as sensitive to genetic modified foods as others, right? There's a spectrum of sensitivity. And a lot of times it comes from the types of vaccines you've gotten and how your body reacts to that. So that does determine a lot of allergies and a lot of the issues that people deal with that we think are just natural. Like we think allergies are natural. So she's upset because she knew that by finding this information and changing the way she ate and what she fed her daughter, she was able to vastly increase her daughter's quality of life. And she's been preaching and teaching this, ever since. Well, now the government's like, okay, people like you are making way too big of a splash. People are becoming way too cognizant of, what this stuff is, its detriment, etc. So now we redesignate it. Now, keep in mind, somebody who is very invested in, bioengineered foods and vaccines and things of that nature is your boy, Bill Gates. And people absolutely despise Bill Gates. But one of the things that they tried to do to make it seem like what they were doing was good and benefiting people is they talked about the fact that we have there's like the world, it's like the whole world hunger thing. It's the world hunger thing. So when they very first started engineering these foods, the whole point of it was we can get a greater yield, we can grow more, we can grow it faster, and that way we can reverse world hunger, or we can combat world hunger. Well, now, I mean, these genetically modified foods have been out for decades and decades, right? This is nothing new. You'll still hear people talk about world hunger, or if not world hunger, you'll still hear people talk about how there are large portions of the population that don't have food, right? So they never actually solved the problem with this genetically modified food. But back in the day, that's what they were telling everybody to get us to go along with it. So now that it's commonplace, right? People start realizing, oh, there's no testing on these foods, right? Because it's new. It's it's new. It's new. There's no testing on it. But so we've been testing it for the past 20, 40 years, right? Especially in the past 20 years, we've been testing it. And now what do we see? People's quality of life have decreased dramatically. People can't lose weight. Cancer's on the rise, autism's on the rise, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So we're starting to see the outcomes of these foods. And I talk about this a lot. One of the reasons why these foods are so detrimental is because the body can't break this stuff down. So think about it. They're altering the genetic makeup of a organism, right? Plant or whatever, animal or microorganism. They're altering it so that it can survive. It becomes impervious. It's like becomes a super thing, a Superman bug or plant or whatever. So now that this thing is impervious to everything, what else is it impervious to? The body's digestive enzymes and the body's the acid and the things that the body uses to break stuff down and digest it, to extract energy from it, to assimilate it. It's also resistant to that as well, right? This is why you have things like corn that no one can actually digest. It just comes out. You eat it, it comes out, right? You can't do anything with corn. So this is the reason why we're dealing with a lot of disease. So one of the very easy things you guys could do to improve your diet is to remove GMOs from your diet. Now, people are going to say, Chris, it's more expensive. Yeah, it is. One thing that I will say, though, is we have no problem spending thousands of dollars for Christmas, for presents, for somebody who either doesn't even want the stuff or won't even use it a year from now, right? We'll go into debt to live above our means, to buy a house that we can't afford, to drive a car we can't afford. But then when it comes to food, something healthy, something that's for your temple, something that's going to nourish your body for the rest of your life, literally, something that's going to help your quality of living, it's too expensive. All right, it's funny. And the crazy thing is, it's not too expensive. But the problem is what we try to do is we try to say, okay, we're going to eat non-GMO food, right? But then we also still buy all the other food that we've always bought. So you're not taking anything out of your budget. You're still buying the same stuff you bought before. You're just adding the non-GMO food. And yes, it becomes more expensive, but that's with anything. That's what budgeting is all about, right? Like, okay, you put something in, you take something out. So it's not that it's too expensive. It's just that we don't have the wherewithal, and we also don't have the perspective, and we don't understand the importance of making these shifts. But not only is it healthier, but it also tastes better. So you're getting a dual benefit. You really are. So we're gonna dive a little bit deeper in this, because I like when I do these, I like to show y'all my thought process. So genetically modified organisms. Let's just take a look at what genetically modified organisms is defined as. So we're all on the same page. Genetically modified organisms. A genetically modified organism contains DNA that has been altered using genetic engineering. Genetically modified animals are mainly used for research purposes, while genetically modified plants are common in today's food supply. Now, you notice it says it's mainly used for research purposes. However, this is changing. Okay. So typically it was used for plants more than anything else. But guess what? It's changing. It's moving into our store in the way of our meat. Okay. And so we're gonna move to the next tab, because what you're going to see is that they recently, well, not necessarily recently, but they legalized genetically modified salmon. I think I did a video talking about this. So some of y'all are probably already aware of this. I'm sure you're aware of it, just basically doing your own research. But there was a time when genetically modified salmon was used for research. So you have this company called Aqua Advantage Salmon, okay? It's called Aqua Advantage Salmon. And Aqua Advantage Salmon is a genetically engineered fish, okay? A GE for short. GE Atlantic Salmon, developed by Aqua Bounty Technologies in 1989. So none of this is new, okay? This is not new. It's new to some of us because we're not aware, but it's not new. They've been doing this for a long time, and this is not the first genetically modified anything. Okay, 1989, that's fairly recent. This stuff goes back a very long time. The typical growth hormone regulating gene in the Atlantic salmon was replaced with the growth hormone regulating gene from a Pacific Chinook salmon. I don't listen. I'm not good at pronouncing words, so don't kill me. With a promoter sequence from ocean pout. I guess pout. The point is, they took a gene or an attribute from one fish, they combined it with another fish, or they took the genes or attributes from several fishes and combined it with one fish to make a new fish. Now, this is not something that happens naturally. So that's one thing we need to understand. Nature does not do this. There's a difference between what nature does and genetically engineered or bioengineered organisms. So let's make sure that we understand that. What they're essentially doing is gene manipulation. Now, it doesn't stop at fish, right? We talked about plants, we talked about microorganisms, but guess what else they're doing? They're also genetically modifying human beings. Okay, if you guys want to look it up, it's called CRISPR. With CRISPR, you can choose genetic makeup of your child before they're born. This is pretty wild stuff that they've been doing. They've been playing with this stuff for years. None of this stuff is new. So the awareness that I want to bring to you all is they're changing the designation of genetically modified foods to bioengineered foods. Okay, so now when you're looking at your labels, you have to look for BE or bioengineered foods. Now, I was thinking, why did they use bioengineered foods? Well, first, let's look at what bioengineered food is. Okay, so we understand what it is. Bioengineered, here we go. Okay, so this is the USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and it says, what is bioengineered food? Food that contains genetic material that has been modified through certain laboratory techniques and for which the modification could not be obtained through conventional breeding or found in nature. Okay, so the actual definition of this states that this is not anything that's naturally occurring, right? That's very important to understand. So nature cannot produce this, and basically it's synthesized in a lab, right? Which means what else? There's a patent on this stuff, right? There's a patent on that fish, and this is how Bill Gates and Melinda Gates and the Gates Foundation and Monsanto and all the other companies that are strong arming farmers, including the U.S. government and many other governments in the world. This is how they take over, because basically what they do is they'll put their farms right next to the farms where people are growing organic foods. And then the wind will come and it'll blow their bioengineered seed over into another farmer's, into their field. And then they'll have their little cronies come over and try to say that the farmer was using their seeds, and then essentially, run them out of business. And so that's how they've been able to take over farms and people's legacy and disrupt our natural ability to farm and take care of ourselves. So now we're dependent on this bioengineered crap. And why is that important? It's because we talked about earlier, the bioengineered food. Yes, it sounds good. It grows bigger. It grows faster. It's impervious to wind, water, sun, viruses, etc. However, these are all natural things, and the body uses natural methods as well to break the food down to assimilate the food, which means it cannot assimilate. So not only is our soil, malnourished because we're not doing right by the soil, but then the food that we do get is bioengineered, and we can't even extract any nutrition from it. And because of how far out of alignment this food is with nature, it causes us problems. It's not a neutral effect. This is the reason why a lot of people think they can't eat bread and pasta and anything made with wheat. They think it's all the devil. It's not. It's the fact that the wheat is made, it's a genetically modified wheat. It's the fact that someone has a patent on this food, and if you follow the paper trail, you'll see how the dots connect. Okay, it's not hard to do. There's a patent on everything. Yeah, I mean, there's a patent on the coronavirus. There's a patent on all of the viruses, all the viruses that science has claimed to cure us from. There's a patent on it. But I just told you, you cannot patent natural things, right? That's the reason why you can't patent a natural salmon. You can't patent lavender. You can't patent dandelions. Okay, that belongs to everybody. That belongs to the earth. But what you can patent is bioengineered organisms, and you can also patent viruses that you've created. Okay, so all these diseases that we come in contact with in modern times, they'll try to say, oh, it's from a monkey or something like that. Whether that's true or not, it doesn't matter. But the origin of the virus, the origin of the disease, comes from, it was a man-made thing. All right. So we understand that we're under attack when it comes to our food, when it comes to our lifestyle, the air we breathe, the water we drink. We get that. Sometimes we don't know how deep the rabbit hole goes. So this information is not to, once again, cause fear or anything of that nature. It's just to let you be aware of it. Because at the end of the day, we're going to come in contact with genetically engineered foods, bioengineered foods. There's not much we could do about it living in a modern society. It's all around us, right? So the goal is to focus on the health and wellness of your body, give the body the resources it needs so that when it does come in contact with this stuff, it could deal with it more efficiently so that it doesn't end up breaking down your immune system and allowing you to get sick. Now, I think one of the reasons why they use the term bioengineered foods is because it's very close to another term that I want to take a look at real quick called BioFortified. Okay. So I want to look at BioFortified because I don't want you all to be confused. And this is what happens. This is why they use similar verbiage, is to cause confusion. So what is BioFortified mean? Okay. So biofortification, we're right here. Biofortification is the process of breeding nutrients into food crops, is a cost-effective, feasible means of delivering micronutrients to the population who may have limited access to diverse diets, supplements, or commercially fortified foods. Okay, so that sounds really good. Hey, for those who don't have the nutrients they need, they don't have the money or the resources to get it, we're going to biofortify your food and make the food more rich in minerals and nutrients. Sounds beautiful. Now, I wasn't born yesterday. Okay, I wasn't even born at night. I was born at noon. So I'm fully awake. Understand that. I wasn't born last night. I wasn't born at night. I was born at noon. My mom said the day I was born, it snowed, it was sunny, and there was a thunderstorm. So when I came in cracking, okay? Fully aware. And what that sounds like to me is some hogwash. That sounds like some fancy words for we are fortifying your food with some crap. It sounds good. I'm sure there's science behind it. It says, oh, it's so good for you. But here's why it sounds like crap to me, okay? This is a trained ear and a trained eye. Because all you have to do is grow your crops properly in nutrient-dense soil, and then you don't have to bioengineer, biohack, or biofortify anything. And I also know that anytime food has a fortification on it, it's always bad. It sounds good. That's why they use the word fortification. Oh, fortified by vitamin this and that and iron and da-da-da-da. And it sounds good. We think, okay, fortified. You know, we think about fortresses. If you have a fortress and you fortify your fortress, that's a good thing. We understand the word fortified. So we think, oh, fortified is good. The reality is, most of the time, I'm not going to say all the time, I'm not, I don't know it all, but most of the time, fortifications are bad. And when you look at cereal, for example, right? Cereal is fortified with iron, but what is the iron they use? They use an inorganic iron. They fortify the cereal with the same iron they use to make a car. And I know everybody is in here didn't go to they're not PhDs, they don't have master's degrees, they didn't go to, they're not scientists, they're not doctors, they're not nutritionists. But I think most of us can understand that you can't eat metal. You can't eat car metal, right? There's no way to get nutrition from car metal, from iron that you use to make a car. I think most of us can figure that out. So why is it that these scientists that you guys love to follow and quote and try to tell me I don't know what I'm talking about? These scientists that y'all think know everything and they're doing everything in your best interest. Why is it that they fortify cereal with iron that your body can't digest? I don't know. I'm not them. All I know is it's stupid. So when I think about biofortification, I look at it the same way. Why? Because most of what we're taught is it's taught in reverse. I like to research outside of just health and wellness. I like to research many different topics. And what I have learned, when you go down the rabbit hole, you go deep enough, you learn that everything was taught to us in reverse. It's not just about food. It's about our history. It's about cosmology. It's about everything. I don't know why they do it. Maybe it's just a good way to trick us. I don't know. It works. But they teach us most things in reverse. So my natural disposition, and I'm be honest with y'all, my natural disposition when I'm researching and I'm learning something is whatever the mainstream narrative is, whatever traditional education is or thought is on a topic, my natural disposition is to think it's the opposite. And some people might view that as ignorant. And maybe in certain cases it is. I don't know. But it's guilty until proven innocent with me, because they have lied to us so much. And it seems to be at the core of all their higher education that things are taught to us in reverse. Think about it. There's a lot of people that want to be entrepreneurs right now. Okay. There's a lot of creators. There's a lot of people going into coaching. There was a lot of money to be made during the COVID time. There's a lot of people doing Forex and stocks and all this stuff, right? So this is something a lot of people can resonate with because most people want to make more money. Well, when I was coming up, what you did if you wanted to have a business, you went and you got a business degree. Now, I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just telling you what all of us were doing. That was the narrative. The narrative was, oh, you want to be an entrepreneur? Because when I was coming up, being an entrepreneur isn't what it is today. Okay. Being an entrepreneur back then was it was really starting to bubble and boil. It was like entrepreneur was like a new term and everybody wanted to obtain it, but nobody was there yet. You know what I mean? You were seeing really popular people who were starting businesses and becoming entrepreneurs, and you liked the idea of it, but you didn't really know how to achieve it. So what did we all do? We went to college, got higher education, and we got business degrees. Okay? That was the traditional wisdom. That's what our counselors were telling us to do. Then you get to college and you realize that the professors teaching you how to start a business and be an entrepreneur work for a college. They don't own a business. Not only do they not own a business, they weren't required to be able to show that they own a business or show any level of mastery in building a business in order to be a professor. Meaning the people teaching us what we think is how to start a business don't know how to start and run a business themselves. That's how jacked up higher education is. That's how jacked up our education system is. So we cannot fall into this trap of thinking, oh, it's higher education. I have this degree from Harvard or Princeton or Howard, and I'm at Ivy League level, and I know all of this stuff. 99 times out of 100, you've been told the information in reverse. Yes, you're given a little bit of information that makes sense. You know what I mean? Something that resonates with you. You can't just completely lie to people. It won't work. However, they give you enough truth, but the lies, the twist is detrimental enough to where you never make progress. This is the reason why a lot of modern day scientists are theoretical scientists. And I've talked about this before. This is a scam, bro. Like theoretical science? What is that? I think, therefore it is. There's all the numbers. Everything's in your head. Nothing works in reality. And this is the thing that frustrates me because, people try to tell me that I'm ignorant about certain things. I don't know what I'm talking about, blah, blah, blah. But okay, but when you put your formal education against my outcomes, you can't say anything, right? Because when you look at AHA, the history of AHA, what I've essentially done is documented my learning journey. So most of the stuff I'm talking about, none of it's really new. I haven't really brought anything new. The new information comes from the outcomes. Hey, there's these people that was like, yo, that thing Chris is talking about sounds good. Let me try it. And they did it. And now we bring them on the show. And now we're showing y'all, hey, I was right. What I was teaching y'all was right because people are getting outcomes. But then when you look at the academia world, they're just thinking about stuff. Now, I'm not saying all of them, okay? I'm not saying they're all just thinking, okay? But theoretical scientists have become very popular. The most popular scientists in the world today are theoretical scientists. And the thing that annoys me the most about it is there are a group of scientists that are doing real research, okay? They're not as big of a group as you might think because a lot of the research is controlled, right? The pharmaceutical companies, the schools, there's the Rockefeller family. There's a lot of people that are controlling the science. So you're getting filtered information. This is why we end up sick. This is why we end up vaccine damage. This is the reason why companies have to pay out billions of dollars in damages when you taking this pill, Azethirol. Azethirol cures you of your sleep apnea, and then you're taking it, and maybe you could you sleep better or whatever, but then you grow like an arm or something, or extra finger, you know what I mean? Or you have sudden death, and now your family is suing for your sudden death. They don't know what you think they know. They're not as smart as you think they are. Okay. And the only thing that matters is outcomes, which I get in spades, which is why as somebody asked, what's the R72? Well, the R72 is a rolling 72-hour fast, right? We started a whole program to help people, ease into fasting. And we started our first month, we did January. We had over 900 participants. Now we are in February and we have over 800 participants. Why did all these people join again? Clearly because it works. Clearly because we're getting outcomes, because we know we're doing. This isn't theory. This isn't, I think. This isn't all in my head. This is real people that you guys get to see every week. We did a whole series of videos in January showing you all outcomes, what people were experiencing. There's nothing to hide here. There's no smoke and mirrors. It actually kind of surprises me, and I think it just becomes like, people aren't researching. They're not even watching the videos, but it's like people still question me on stuff that I've been proved a long time ago. Like, and this is no shade, right? It's just weird to me at this point. We've been telling you guys that you can eat fruit. You can eat fruit to reverse type 2 diabetes. You could literally eat oranges and reverse type 2 diabetes. And everybody is, well, why? How? It's too much sugar. It's too much sugar. Okay, I get it. I understand. We've been lied to. We've been told that you can't eat sugar as a diabetic. But every diabetic I've ever talked to still eats Snickers and cookies and ice cream every once in a while, at least. But you're afraid of an orange. Like, how did we get so discombobulated? So there's a propaganda machine that's been manipulating our thoughts. We don't trust our own senses. We don't trust our body. When we hear information that resonates with our gut, our being, our center, we discard it for our logical mind. Remember, your logical mind has been programmed, right? From the age of, it's from zero. From the time that you're in the womb developing, you're being programmed. Now, that's not a good or bad thing. It's just what happens. You know what I'm saying? I like the analogy. Imagine that y'all remember those old iPods? Remember when iPods first came out? Is that what's called? Yeah, the iPods and the iPod Nanos and all that stuff. The MP3 players. Some of y'all might not know. Some of y'all might be too young. But they were amazing. You could take all your music, because before that, they was on CD disc, and you had to have a freaking wallet for your for your CDs, and you could put them all on this little device. It was amazing. But imagine if you buy an iPod from Walmart or wherever, Best Buy or Circuit City. Y'all remember Circuit City? You buy this iPod, and you put your earbuds in, and you push the button that's supposed to be play, and nothing happens, right? Because you haven't downloaded any information on it. There's no music. There's no programs on it. So it has to be programmed. Now, the music that you decide to put on it can be either good or bad, but the programming has to happen. Well, human beings are the exact same way, right? It reminds me of Transformers. If you guys are familiar with Transformers, when the Transformers come to the Earth for the first time, they're coming from Megatron or wherever Megatron's the bad guy. I don't know, whatever the name of their planet is. They come from the planet. They're from outer space. The very first thing the Transformers have to do is they scan a piece of machinery. And when they scan that piece of machinery, it manipulates their DNA so that they can take form. Otherwise, they're formless. It's the same. It's all the same. So from 0 to 7, you're being programmed. The question is, what are you being programmed with? And we talked about this a little bit in the last live, right? When you go to school, the posters that you're seeing, what's the information on the back of the cereal? What's the commercial saying to you? What are your parents saying to you? I vividly remember feeling ill. Call it the flu, call it an upset stomach, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Chills, whatever the case may be. Not wanting to eat. I vividly remember this. I'm feeling sick. I got the chills. I don't want to eat. And guess what? My mom is on the side of my bed with a bowl of chicken noodle soup that comes out of a Campbell's chicken noodle soup can. Wasn't even homemade chicken noodle soup, by the way, right? So my mom is feeding me this warmed up chicken noodle soup out of a can, talking about I need to eat to keep my energy up because that was the propaganda. That was what she was being fed. So she was being fed deceit, and she was in turn feeding me probably some genetically engineered Campbell noodle soup, chicken noodle soup, when I was sick. Why? Because she was programmed to think that that was going to be good for me. And my body was saying, yo, I don't want this. Think about it. When you're sick, when you're really, really ill, you don't have an appetite. And if you force yourself to try to eat, and I know because I get these comments all the time, people be like, Chris, XYZ happened. You know, I got the flu. I tried to eat. I can't keep anything down. Well, duh. Your body's trying to send you a signal. Stop trying to stuff my face. Stop trying to put food in me. You're draining our energy reserve. We got to use this energy to heal. And you're trying to stuff your face with food. Where did you get that from? Someone taught that to you. There's nothing natural about that. And how do I know that? If you look at animals, and this is why I love the way that I research. Because it's not just about reading a book. It's not just about going to a course. I do less of that than anything else. I observe nature. I think about my interaction with people and nature in the past. And I paint a picture based on my observable reality for the past 35 plus years, okay? And I think about animals. And whenever I saw an animal get sick, whether it's a dog, a horse, or whatever, they stopped eating. Sometimes they'll eat grass. What does that make them do? Throw up. So if they don't feel good, if they have a stomach bug, or whatever the case is, they start fasting and they induce vomiting, right? Which is essentially taking a herb. It's the same thing we would do. We might take a herb, a laxative or something, might give us runny bowels or whatever the case may be. But the point is, whatever's in us that doesn't need to be in us is coming out one way or the other. This is how I know we're not supposed to be eating when we're sick. You don't have an appetite, and nature shows you all day long what animals do. So anyway, we've got a little bit off topic, but the point is the information that they're feeding us is incorrect. And so as we start to come to the consciousness, we start to come to the knowing that what they're feeding us is wrong or incorrect, we start making changes. Good for you. You start making changes because, and I used to say this all the time, when I very first started studying Americans specifically, because Americans are looked at as just fat and lazy. When I started studying Americans, because I was on my own health and wellness journey, what I learned was that a lot of people put forth effort to get healthy. Most people don't want to be sick. There are a few. There are a few that don't care. They're used to being sick. They like talking about their sickness. They like taking the pills. They like getting the days off work. They like being victims. So there are those people. But most people got up off their butt and they got a gym membership and they got in the gym. The only thing, the problem is they were given bad information. So they're going to the gym, they're putting in effort, but they're not seeing results. Well, anybody would quit. If you're going in, you already have a full day. You've got children, you've got a spouse, you've got work, you've got commute time. And then you shave off an hour to go to the gym 5 days a week. And you're doing this fad diet. So now there's a mental exhaustion, there's a physical exhaustion, there's a spiritual exhaustion, and then at the end of the month, you've lost 5 pounds. Anybody would quit. It doesn't work. It's a terrible protocol. That's why you saw people quitting, right? But they didn't even quit. They kept buying stuff. Jenny Craig, Slim Fast, the pregnant pea. People would do anything to lose weight and get healthy. So it's not that people aren't willing to put in the effort. It's that we're given bad advice. And when we put our motivation, our effort behind something, it doesn't work. And so then we quit because it's not working. Duh. Right? So now we're calloused, we're jaded. And now you get people saying, I still get people to this very day trying to tell me, oh, you can fast and lose 50 pounds, but you're just going to gain it all back. Like, what? That's not how it works. If you don't change your lifestyle, yes, it will gain it back. But that's the reason why we teach lifestyle, right? If the GMO wheat and the GMO fish, the salmon that everybody loves so much, is causing you to gain weight and to be inflamed and to be sick, and that sickness causes you to go out and get a pill that makes you even more sick, and it's a self-perpetuating cycle, If that is not changed or addressed, then yes, you'll get the same outcomes because you're doing the same thing, right? You can't expect fasting to be a magic bullet. But the beautiful thing about what we teach is we teach protocols that work for virtually everyone. And if you follow it, you get the outcomes. And if you maintain it, you maintain the outcomes. And we just tell you that up front. We don't push this like it's some magic potion or pill. And if you do this thing, you're going to lose weight and it'll never come back. No, it will always come back if you go back to those bad habits. So I hope you all, I hope you guys are revved up. Tomorrow we are going live in the R72 program. I put the link in the chat. I'm gonna put the link in the chat again. I put the link in the description as well. If you guys want to join us, if you want to learn more, if you want to get the regular lives and everything, and just, you know what I mean, get together with the group, I would highly encourage you guys to join. It's $85 if you guys want to join the R72 challenge. The R72 is just simply, it's a rolling fasting cycle. So what that means is you're going to fast for 72 hours and then we're going to eat. We're going to break the fast. This is great for people who are new to fasting. This is great for people who have fallen off the wagon. This is great for people who can't seem to, get back into the groove of things. This also helps you to build and develop a better relationship with food, which is important. This is the reason why people who deal with us and they lock into the information, they don't gain the weight back, is because they adopt better habits. You got to adopt better habits. You know what I'm saying? We were talking about that the other day on the live with Mel. Mel's program, Let's Get Animated. Moving your body, animating your mind, and developing better habits. So with that being said, I'm going to see if there's any questions real quick. I'm not going to go through all the questions. If you guys have a question that you absolutely want me to answer, put a super chat now. But I'm going to go through and I'm going to see if there's any questions that, I could just grab real quick. Oh, Cincinnati, Ohio's in the house. Columbus, Ohio. Cincinnati's where my family's from. Well, half of my family. I like this. When it comes to your health, you're either going to pay before or you're going to pay after. There was a I got a message about 2 years ago, and it was talking about how the doctors had this person on a cancer pill. It was either a cancer pill or an HIV pill or something. I think it was a cancer pill. It was a cancer treatment. It was a chemo pill. It was a chemo pill. Or whatever. There was a whole protocol. Maybe it wasn't just a pill, but it was a whole protocol. You know how much that protocol cost that person? It was $9,360 a month. $9,000 plus a month, almost $10,000 a month. But people want to talk about the food's too expensive. Oh man. Browsing through these. Yeah, never believe other people's research. And I tell y'all, listen, I'm not asking you to take my word for anything. You know what I'm saying? If it resonates with you and you understand, like, some people are in tuned enough that they understand, they know when they're hearing the truth, right? Some people are in tuned enough to know that. But I don't know if that's commonplace. Most of us need some type of I don't know. Some of us need like some type of proof, right? We've been brainwashed to only see proof one way. This gold standard double blind study type stuff. It's absolutely absurd because what is actually better proof is if your friend who lives with you or the person that lives next door to you or your auntie does XYZ procedure or process and gets an outcome, that should actually speak volumes. Because that's real life. It's not a study. It's not a test. It's definitely not controlled. You know what I'm saying? It's in the wild. It's in real life. We need methods that work in real life. Okay. I'm not really seeing questions. So, okay, we got one. Thoughts on Herbalife products for weight loss? All right, so I'm gonna be honest and say that I don't know a ton about Herbalife. Okay, my brother John, if you guys are familiar with John, John used to actually sell Herbalife products back in the day. All I can really speak on is his experience with the Herbalife because I never used them. I think he maybe offered them to me, but it didn't resonate with me. So I don't know much about them. I know that he got benefit from using them for a while, but I think that I'm not really sure. I think they promote some type of dietary strategy with it as well. I believe I remember him saying, it was working for a while, but then I kind of got off my dietary habits, and it wasn't really working that well anymore. Needless to say, he didn't stick with it. So, you know, there's a lot of things out there that will work for a period of time. Keep that in mind, okay? There's a lot that will work for a period of time. It could be 5 years, it could be 10 years. But if you're not seeking nature, if the fundamental, the core of whatever practice that you're doing, if it's not steeped in something that's natural, it's probably not going to last as long as you think. It's probably not a genuine solution. There's plenty of things we could do to help us right now, and that's okay. Sometimes there's stuff we need to do to just help us get out of our mess right now. And there's artificial things, there's stimulants, you know what I'm saying? There's medication that you could take to get your heart starting again. You die and you could stab yourself with this medication and it can get your heart pumping again, right? So there's instances when you could use these synthetic things. I just want you all to understand that you can never heal your body with a synthetic or a synthesized thing. You certainly can't give it nutrition with a genetically modified or genetically engineered organism. Okay, it's going to cause problems. You might not see it today, you might not see it 15 years from now, but 20 years from now, you start realizing, dang, I'm only 30 years old. Why do I have back pain like my dad did in his 50s? But now you're so separated from the cause of the back pain, you could never think it's the genetically modified food you've been eating all this time. You've been eating it for 20 years. That can't possibly be the problem. All right, think that if you want. Listen, I'm going to say this. I know better products. I know products that I have used. I know products I still use. That are showing better consistency. Okay, I've tried many products. I used to use this product called Kyani, which I thought was pretty good. But guess what? It only gave me benefits for about 3 months. After that, I lost the benefits. And it wasn't that I lost them, I plateaued. It wasn't helping me anymore. You know what I'm saying? So, and that happens a lot. So I'm going to share a link. Okay, you guys probably are familiar. Most of y'all are familiar. I've been working with a company called the Root Wellness brand, and they have they're a nutraceutical company, and they have some really amazing products that they formulated using natural science, which is what attracted me the most. Right? They're using herbs and natural products that are high quality, but also the way they're formulating a products using natural energy and magnetism and things of that nature that I know are important. That's really what kind of stood out for me, because there's a lot of things that I've tried, different waters and different things, and I very rarely see any benefit. That's not to say that this stuff doesn't work, but typically with somebody who's actively detoxing, it's harder to see a reaction. But with the Root products, especially taking Clean Slate had me detoxing like a mug. So since you asked about supplements and stuff, I'm gonna put this link in here. Root is an invitation only community. You have to sign up. You got to be a part of the community to purchase. So you need a referral link. So there's the referral link in the chat. Okay. Also essential oils. You guys know I've been rocking with essential oils for a couple years now. I love them. They're amazing to replace medication. You can replace your medicine cabinet with essential oils. They're just herbs. Okay. It's the lifeblood of a plant. It's herbs. So I know I saw another question here, super chat. Oh, not a question. Just want to let everyone know who is on the fence about the R72. There is so much content and support. It's worth every penny. Thank you, AJ. Yo, shout out. Lila, thank you. I appreciate that. Not only has she joined the R72, but she super chatted just to let y'all know how beneficial it is being inside. We gave away the Almost Alkaline cookbook. We have the quick start guide, and then of course we have a full curriculum. You get a PDF guide. I think it's like 17 pages, and you get like, I don't know, 20 videos, and then you get a live stream every week. And of course you get access to the secret membership group in AHA communities. So it's a pretty amazing setup. Thank you so much for shouting that out. She is not a paid sponsor, okay? Trust me, y'all. She's not a paid sponsor. Is rolling 72s good for autophagy? All fasting is good for autophagy, but with the rolling 72, yes, it is, because the body does different things during different time frames. Meaning, if you fast for 1 day or 24 hours versus 3 days, different things take place. The longer you fast, more processes take place. Your body does more work. So what the R72 is designed to do is get you to fast long enough to get some of the greatest benefit out of fasting, but keep it short enough to where if you've got a strenuous job or if you're new to fasting, it doesn't wear you out. Because fasting can wear you out mentally, right? My brother Isaiah, he'll fast for 4 or 5 days and then he'll just stop. And we'll ask him, like, how's the fast going? Yeah, man, I just got bored. I stopped. And I'm like, dang. So you weren't dealing with detox symptoms? Nope. You didn't have like sleeping, fasting, insomnia? Nope. Were you losing weight? Yeah, I was losing weight. So you're getting all the benefits. You're on easy street. He's mentally exhausted from doing it, right? So we address mental exhaustion by giving yourself a break every 72 hours. Okay. And then on top of that, you're going to drop lots of weight because you're getting rid of all the sugar. Unlike with, some of the shorter fasts, 16-8 and things of that nature. Sometimes you don't really get an opportunity to. There's a lot of processes you don't get an opportunity to experience. But autophagy is definitely going to happen on a R72. You're not going to see the fasting shrink week, of course, because that happens on a much longer fast. But you will tighten loose skin and you will contour the body. Okay, so there's a lot of benefit to the R72. What kind of water do you drink on fasting, and do you recommend juicing or smoothies on the fast? All right, so I always recommend distilled water. I go into more depth about why I recommend distilled water, but the reality is with distilled water, you're starting with a pure base, and that's important because people put stuff in y'all's water. Right? We've been talking about genetically engineered organisms. You think they don't put stuff in your water? It's in your tap water. It's in your spring water. It's in your water. So when you get a distilled water, at least you're starting with a purified water, not like a filtered water, but it's a pure water base. Now they put it in plastic so that the water always leaches chemicals from the plastic. So they're always still putting something in your water. And you can find a local water delivery service that will deliver distilled water in glass, and that way it's pure. However, even getting the distilled water out of the plastic bottle is better than getting the water that already has crap in it in the plastic bottle. Okay, so that's why I say distilled. Also, distilled water is a sponge. Distilled water allows you to it collects inorganic material in your system and it will take it out of your body. Okay, so it'll flush it out of your system. Now, if you want to do something extra to your distilled water, I do recommend that, right? We talk about sun charging your water. Clear glass jar. Put your distilled water in a clear glass jar. Set it out in the sun. Let the sun ionize the water. Charge the water. It'll change the molecular structure of the water. It'll break up the water molecules. It'll make it more hydrating, blah, 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 blah. So much benefit, okay? You could also cut up some key limes, cucumbers, whatever. Let that cold steep in your water. This is going to make it more hydrating. So that way you're not drinking energetically dead water. Because that's what most people say, Chris. Oh, distilled water is energetically dead. Yeah, it is. So is spring water from a bottle. So is alkaline water. Like, it's all energetically dead or unbalanced. So you still would need to do that with your other waters as well. The only difference is with the distilled water, it starts with a pure base. So that's what I recommend. And I don't recommend doing smoothies on your fast. Okay. There are certain times when we'll say, okay, you could do a smoothie, but that's more of a one-on-one thing. But as far as like our core curriculum, we tell you guys to just do water. Mike, shout out to Mike. King James, I'm fasting now, and I'm 32 plus pounds down and 42 pounds down from my highest ever weight last year. How can I learn details about the lifestyle course, and what does it entail? Shout out to AHA. Yo, shout out to you, man. I appreciate you. You know what I mean? First of all, congratulations. You're making really good progress. All right. So, how can you learn details about the lifestyle course? I'm not sure which course you're talking about because we have a lot of courses, but the easiest way, I suppose, would be to go to ahawellnessacademy.com. Okay, check out the courses that we have on there. But if you have a question about a specific course, you could just simply email us, support@ahealthyalternative.org. You can email us. We just launched Mel's course, Animated Mel. It's called Let's Get Animated. And that one talks about building better habits, how to disassociate with people that are bringing you down. Yeah, emotional intelligence, how to recognize it, how to build it, right? How to become emotionally intelligent, et cetera, et cetera. Then we have our 40-day wellness class, which we put in digital form. Some of y'all who are AHA Legacy members, me and Steven developed a course. It was a live course, right? We taught it over Zoom. It was a live course we were doing a couple of years ago. We had hundreds of students join that course. It was extremely popular, and due to certain circumstances, we kind of had to stop doing it for a while, and we haven't got it back up. And a lot has changed, but we digitized the course, so now you could go through this course on your own pace. Okay, it's not a live thing, but it's the same course. And actually what we did was we took the best elements of each class we took and we combined it and we made a course out of it. And there's a workbook that comes with it, and it teaches you how to communicate, how no is a love word, how to develop your why, how to fast, how to refeed, the importance of hydration, germ theory, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a pretty in-depth course. It is not, it's unlike any of the other courses that we have done up until that point. It's a really deep course. Okay. So that's something that you want to be ready to do. It might, depends if you want to start there or not. I don't know, but yeah. And so we're developing more courses. Steve has a course coming out pretty soon. I can't even tell you the name of it yet, but it's coming out pretty soon. But yeah, just go to ahealthyalternative.org. You can learn about programs and courses there. You could go to ahawellnessacademy.com, or you could just straight up email us, support@ahealthyalternative.org. All right, y'all. Listen, I appreciate you spending this time with me tonight. We're at an hour. I'm going to keep this thing going. I know it's Saturday night. Some of y'all have already been out, already back home. Some of y'all about to go out. Back when I used to go out, I wouldn't even leave the house till 11. It's like 10, 12 here now. So back when I used to go out, I could do this live, go hop in the shower and be ready to rock out. But I don't really go out no more. Anyway, like the video, like this live, subscribe if you haven't seen it. If it's first time being here, subscribe. Join our R72 challenge. Link is in the description. It's in the comments. Learn more about AHA. Get locked in. Look, we get results. You know what I'm saying? If you're ready to change, everybody talks about, new year, new me, all that stuff. Well, it's February. How's that holding up? If you've been trying to do this on your own and you're not getting to the outcomes you desire, you might need some guidance. It's good to have a team. And it's also good to have a community of people that are like-minded. It really makes a difference. Hopefully you guys got something good for this tonight. If you did, show me some love. All right. I'm out of here. Peace.